Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway. As we're set for go or go home qualifying for race number 3 of the 2025 edition of the WRA Oreo Cup Series. As we already got our first driver off, that would be Donovan Dixon in the number 66 machine. We have 43 cars on the entry list for the 42 starting positions. There is a 50 car in the entry list. However, the 50 car is not from 2311 Racing. It is actually from Team Amerivet that used to be the Money Team. We'll introduce that driver in just a second. Donovan Dixon is the first driver to set a lap time. As we're prepared for this afternoon's Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Should be a fun race here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hope everybody enjoyed their November holiday as we get set for the third race on the season, 28656 for Donovan Dixon. Of course, he made his debut last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, at Las Vegas. And here he is trying to make his second straight race, but this time in a knockout qualifying. Normally it would be 40 cars, but we decided for the rest of the year it'd be 42. That means one driver from this go or go home deal will not make the show. There's Leo Hill trying to make his second start of his Oreo Cup career. Had a very good debut last week. He made the race at Las Vegas by default, and is 28th position in the points at 28.330. There's Eric Monaco trying to make sure he is locked into this week's race here at Atlanta. He dropped 18 spots down to 21st position in the points after a poor run at Las Vegas. Here's the driver we're talking about, Annie Thomas, the 2015 Monster Energy Series champ. She's driving the 50. This is not the 2311 50 machine. This is the Team Amerivet number 50 machine, excuse me, which I will put a 1 next to this number 50, so that way we're not confusing this entry and the 2311 car. Annie Thomas trying to make her first start on the year. Remy Crampton, the fastest, at a 28.201. And there's Isaac Willis in the number 36 machine. He's made the first 2 starts of his career. We also have Sam Tenley on the bubble at 28.344. Isaac Willis dropped 7 spots down to 34th position in the points after last week's race, or 2 weeks ago's race at Las Vegas, I should say. If he wants to make the show, he has to be at 28.344. And he's at a 3.94, so he needs to pick it up in this session. Annie Thomas, one of my drivers that's going to be running a part-time Oreo Cup schedule. Trying to think what the sponsor says on the 50. It's the Luxido Expenses Chevrolet. As I said, she's trying to make her first start on the season. Remy Crampton has made every race so far. Made the Daytona 500. Also showed up for Las Vegas. Annie Thomas getting a little too close to Remy Crampton. Haven't seen Annie Thomas in the Oreo Cup Series since a couple of years ago when she drove the number 23. Did not find victory lane, however. And before that, ran 4 races in place of the. I think the suspended, if I can remember off the top of my head, it was either Dion Scott or Dylan Young that I can think of. And of course, she doesn't have an R because she's already made more than 7 Oreo Cup starts, so she's not eligible for the Rookie of the Year honors, which in Annie Thomas's case doesn't matter. Annie Thomas, if you guys have not been following on this channel, she is running for the Independence Trophy with World NOS Racing DVR with yours truly as the team owner. She unfortunately has failed to qualify for both Cardiala and Indianapolis, which we are going to Indianapolis later in the calendar season. Do not know if Isaac Willis has improved his lap time. There he is, as he is still searching for speed. Right now, he would be the car that would go home from this session. Because like I said, now that we have 7 go homers, it's going to be... We're going to have 7 go homers, and we're going to have only 6 drivers transfer into this afternoon's race. There's Sam Tenley, who is on the bubble. All the drivers who made the Daytona 500 have not failed to qualify for a race this season. Last week they got a freebie at Las Vegas. This week is not going to be the case. As Sam Tenley currently 6th quickest. His best lap is a 3:44. So Isaac Willis needs to find at least 400s to beat Sam Tensley to put himself into the show. There's Eric Monaco in the 44. Our pole sitter from the Daytona 500 back in the first race of the year. Had a pretty poor finish in the 500, believe it or not. Actually, let me rephrase that. He actually, I believe, let me go double check the points. He actually moved up to 21st position in the points. Should be plus 18. Let me do that real quickly. I think I gave him a minus there. I don't know why. Especially when he gains spots. Okay, as I already fixed it. So right now, Leo Hill would make his second race in a row. Donovan Dixon ditto. And then Crampton, Monaco, and Tenley would be the drivers that have made every race so far this season. That would mean poor Isaac Willis will be the driver who will not make the show if it stands, unless he can find a competitive time or get a draft with somebody. There's Donovan Dixon coming back out on the track. Isaac Willis on pit road trying to make his final adjustments before he comes back on the track. There's Leo Hill. Jumped all the way up to 28th position in the points. Kind of surprising, despite not entering Daytona because, well, he wasn't even on the entry list, believe it or not. Leo Hill having a very good having a very good weekend so far. As you see Donovan Dixon right behind Eric Monaco. There's Sam Tinley on the bubble. And it looks like Isaac Willis, I don't know if he's going to get back out on track. This is the quickest two drivers right here, Remy Crampton, Annie Thomas. Annie Thomas has raced with Remy Crampton's big brother, Travis Crampton, believe it or not. That was back in the Monster Energy Series days. Or is Annie Thomas not racing in other series? Until we have a driver for the 50 car for 2311 Racing, this 50 car will be the only car that will be showing up to the track instead. As I wonder if Isaac Willis just came out of the pits. Down to 2 minutes to go in the session. He's going to need a beat of 28.377 to possibly send Sam Tenley home. As remember, 43 entries, 36 are chartered teams. They're locked in the show. These 7 are going for 6 spots in the field. 28.653. We can agree the 13 and the 50 are safe. On board with Isaac Willis as he's right behind Leo Hill. In fact, he's actually catching Leo Hill. I've heard of Leo Einstein, but never Leo Hill. 28.374. Picked up 3/1000ths from what he ran as he's all over the back of the unsponsored Chevrolet. And Isaac Willis, can he get a good lap time? Let's see what he can do. A 28.354. Missed it by 10 milliseconds. Missed it by 10 milliseconds. He's got one more chance to make it in. 10 milliseconds. Goodness me, the times are a lot closer. And he's done it. 28.277. And if the 60 doesn't improve his time, that would be Sam Tenley. There he is If he doesn't improve his time in the next 30 seconds, he's going home. Is he going to race today? No. 29147, Leo Hill will take the final transfer spot. Leo Hill for the second race weekend in a row, but unlike last week or 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, he earned it this week, which means unfortunately Sam Tenley will not make the show, and Isaac Willis has got to breathe a sigh of relief as far as that is concerned. Wow. You can cut tensions with a knife, if you ask me. So your 6 drivers who will make the field will be Remy Crampton, Annie Thomas, Donovan Dixon, Eric Monaco, Isaac Willis, and Leo Hill. Sam Tenley is the only driver who will not make the show, as he will have to go home. He'll have to try again next week at the Bristol Motor Speedway. But that is going to do it for Go or Go Home qualifying. Hope you guys enjoyed this Go or Go Home qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS crew today. We'll see you guys this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as our Atlanta weekend continues right here on the Blue Hedgehog TV and the PCS Sports and Given channel, the best in racing since 2017.